Armies of Germany book. I flipped through it quickly and actually really liked it. I really like how they lay out this new book for units and stuff, how they kind of have them together. They have little informations. They're definitely dropping a little bit more into the historical side of this, with explaining things and when they were used. They've added a new thing, which is the period table here, so this will tell you when these units would be appropriate with the loadouts that they have. Things like that. If I could show a good example, they also have in the beginning of the unit area, so like say if you can get like the skirts in for tanks, there's an actual little things like, hey, a lot of these tanks have this, so here's a generic upgrade that you can buy for those units. Also looking at this, a lot of the things that you would normally actually just take on a unit as default, like gun shields or easily catch on fire, like remove thin sides, stuff like that, have been put into the units in these books. So the big one that I noticed was all the howitzers have gun shields just built into them. You don't have to buy them. Another one I noticed was Panthers lost their thin sides. Gun shield, yep. Another one was the tank riders that you got in here. In past editions, second edition mostly, there was a thing where you'd buy, like, say, a unit of bike riders. And, oh yeah, you got the mouse in here too. You buy bike riders, and they would be the guys, but then you'd have to buy the bikes on top of it. So it wasn't actually the amount that they said originally in the listing, which was kind of dumb if you think about it. Like, if you're buying the riders, wouldn't the rules pay for that cost? So they've actually implemented that now into it, or just straight up removed them. I'm trying to find a thing here that I thought was also really cool. Captured vehicles, they have actual stats for them now. So your French stuff that you had, tank destroyers, a lot more vehicles are in here. And then another one, if you're not 100% sure what you want to play or how to play, but you like a specific theater, here you go. They have lists, the models on it, to kind of show you what they would be and in what era. And then last but not least, if you don't really know your history, so you're like, what is late war, what is middle war, here you go. This section here has the different things like late war, mid war, stuff like that, and it tells you all the units and vehicles of that time period. So I'm hoping that they have this in all the codexes that are coming out, the army books, in the future. So yeah, so you have things like this. So you'll have a section like this. This is like generic upgrades you can get. So here's shoots and then all that stuff and what it does. And then you have the cool one, how to make your SS army, your paratrooper army, your special army, your special rules, which unlike other games is literally just this one page. And then of course you have the nice art of the vehicles and, you know, the history of what happened on their end. So all that stuff here, SS, Bolshevik, so on and so forth. Winter stuff. Yeah, so you have your officers, and they kind of tell you like what they would be in their translation, composition, and then of course here HQ options, bikes, motorcycles, horses, veteran squads. We kind of split them up like the British had or the other Americans and stuff. Grenadier squads, so on and so forth. Besides that, they've introduced a lot of units. They have so many units in this book now. So, yeah, for the most part, really like this book. I'm not going to go in depth with every unit. If you've played any version of Bolt Action before, there's actually quite a bit of... In this army book, there was a lot about the same, but they did fix point costs. You know, like I was saying, if it's a bike squad that's supposed to come with bikes, but then it forces you to have to buy those bikes anyways as separate upgrades, that's been fixed and removed. You know, you have inexperienced officers now in this version of the game. Pioneer squads, flamethrowers everywhere, Goliaths. Your artillery is fun. Got a couple of new pieces in there. Your Panzer 2s and stuff, Panzer 1s, all kind of in spots. So they kind of split each like section of the page to like Panzer 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. Tigers, Stugs, Panthers, and then of course your stuff that they stole, some of the new models that they released before this book came out, and whatnot. So yeah, all in all, I really like the layouts of these books. I cannot wait for my American copy to come out to see what they have and all that stuff, the lists, and how I can make a marine landing force and stuff like that. But yeah, really like this book. I'm gonna maybe get Callum on here at one point and we'll go in depth when I get my American book and we actually play a game of Bolt Action 3rd Edition on stream or on video. We'll go over the rules with that and so on and so forth. So if you guys have any questions about Bolt Action 3rd Edition or just the game in general or hobby or even world history of war,